everybody. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to Pep Talk, the podcast where we give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help us God, where we take all these complex health and wellness and even medical conversations that you're hearing about on social media, around the dinner table, anywhere in your community, and we make them simple. We make them simple for you to understand. We break them down into simple, bite-sized, digestible talking points, and then we give you some action steps that you can take to improve your health and the quality of health in your community. And if you're a physician, like most physicians who are watching this, you can take this information and help improve the health of your patients and the community that you serve. I'm your host, Dr. Eric Naputi. I've been a functional medicine, functional neurology practicing physician for the last 20 years, helping people get to the root cause of their health problems. Today's podcast, we're going to go down a little journey of something that is a surprising conversation to a lot of people. But just last night, I did a workshop for about 150 physicians, and we were talking about chronic illness and diabetes. And I was presenting to a group of physicians primarily in the Middle East region. And I don't know if you know this, but 1 out of 3 individuals in that region have type 2 diabetes. And I'm going to tell you, it's destroying the communities, destroying the economy. By the way, 1 in 3 Americans here in North America and the United States is dealing with prediabetes and insulin resistance. So we're just as bad. In fact, in some cases, we're worse here. But there's a global trend of blood sugar and insulin resistance and diabetes that is the true pandemic, the true epidemic that's really causing havoc globally on our health. And I'll tell you now, looking back in retrospect, we, the health and wellness community, have made some very big distinctions of why the United States of America did the absolute worst when it comes to the COVID results. And it's because so many Americans are unfortunately fat, sick, and nearly dead. We had all these underlying pre-existing conditions that really made us susceptible to COVID and other illnesses and infections. And folks, that still is true to this day. Diabetes is on the rise, strokes are on the rise, heart disease is on the rise, and cancer we're seeing now at just absolutely unbelievable proportions over the last several years. And there are so many factors to that, but there's a hidden secret that many of you don't realize, and that's the fact that sugary beverages are destroying your health. And at a level that most of you can't even fathom, and most of you are even taking and consuming these beverages yourself, and you're allowing your children to consume those as well. So let me read some of the notes that I put together on the statistic of this for the show today. But it's important that you understand that every choice you make in your life, from what you eat to how you exercise to how you sleep to whatever you do, accumulates over time, and that affects your health. And what we positively do over a long period of time is going to give us a positive result. But what we negatively do over a period of time is going to give our body a negative result. And look, science is telling us that we can now live to be 120, 150, some are even saying up to 200 years of life, but unless we're taking care of ourselves. And that is one of the most important conversation pieces we're having globally to this day. It's actually one of the major talking points of just this recent U.S. presidential election is how do we deal with the chronic illness and chronic disease that is destroying our community that hasn't been dealt with in the last 50 years. In the current level of thinking that existed, in the current level of people that were in charge of the healthcare systems, the supposed healthcare systems at that time, cannot be the individuals that get us out of these problems. Look, I'm going to show you something. What you drink has a cumulative effect on your health just as well as what you eat does. Among these choices, your beverage habits may be taking more of a toll on your health and well-being than you realize. Listen to this. New research shows a clear correlation between and causation between sugary drinks, fizzy sodas, fruit drinks, and chronic illnesses like heart disease, diabetes, and stroke. And really the hidden sugars, the high fructose corn syrup, which should be absolutely unequivocally removed from our food supply, are one of the leading causes that most people really are absolutely unaware of. And how many of you know that being blissfully ignorant a lot of times is what leads down the road of death and destruction? I will tell you that we teach here at Pep Talk that optimal health stems from really 5 pillars of health, right? We got to have genetic expression balance. We have to have cellular expression balance. We have to have central nervous system expression balance. We have to have the autonomic nervous system balance. We have to have our cellular and microbiotic health balanced. And the hidden dangers of your beverages are destroying all aspects of that. Ranging from sodas to fruit juices to energy drinks. These harmful ingredients are leading to more harm than most people understand. For example, high fructose corn syrup is one of the most common sweeteners in processed beverages, and by the way, is one of the most harmful by far. Listen to this. A soda, a single pop or a soda, a 12-ounce can contains 39 grams of sugar. 39 grams of sugar. Folks, that is a ridiculous amount. In fact, most of that comes from high fructose corn syrup. That's nearly 10 teaspoons of sugar in one can. 10 teaspoons of sugar in one can. Literally, you're chewing up the sugar in this. By the way, massively addicting. We've seen MRI scans of the brain with somebody who is on cocaine and other addictive narcotics and sugar, and the same areas of the brain fire up, which is why, in my opinion, sugar is the most dangerous and addictive drug on the planet to this day. Look at fruit juice, for example. Fruit juice, many processed fruit juices are marked as quote unquote healthy. Well, they're not. Do not drink fruit juice, especially if it's from a concentrated container that contains high fructose corn syrup. Some of the brands, listen to this, have 30 to 40 grams of sugar per serving. That's the equivalent of like a candy bar, even a small candy bar. You know, so the fruit juices are literally contributing to your diabetes. And I have patients tell me to this day, look, I'm drinking my orange juice for my vitamin C. I'm having my pomegranate juice for my heart health. I'm taking my pineapple juice for digestive. Folks, if it has high fructose corn syrup in it, this is a problem. And by the way, in the fruit, when you eat an apple, for example, the apple has the juice, it has the vitamins and nutrients in the juice, but the fiber, the actual meat of that fruit, that fiber keeps your sugars from spiking. So if you're going to juice the foods, you should eat the pulp with it, not just drink the juices. Look at energy drinks. And I have a big issue with energy drinks because I've seen so many patients of mine have horrible blood sugar issues, blood pressure issues, cholesterol issues, chronic pain issues, heart problems, and much, much more because of the daily multiple energy drinks that they're consuming. For example, a typical energy drink contains about 55 grams of sugar, almost double the daily recommended allowance in just one serving of that stuff. No wonder 1 in 3 Americans is pre-diabetic. No wonder 97 million Americans are walking around with insulin resistance, and most of them don't even know that they have it. High fructose corn syrup is particularly harmful because it bypasses the normal sugar metabolism process that the body goes through, and it floods the liver and promotes fatty liver syndrome. And we're seeing now more fatty liver that in the last 5 to 10 years than we've seen in the last 20 years combined. Most people assumed that fatty liver syndrome used to be from people who would drink too much alcohol because of the sugar content in alcohol. No, now it's because of the juices, the energy drinks, and the sodas that we're allowing even our children to consume. And now it goes and it bypasses, the high fructose corn syrup bypasses the normal digestive pathway through the body and floods the liver, causing fatty liver syndrome, non-alcoholic fatty liver syndrome, which then sets the stage for insulin resistance, diabetes, heart disease, cancer, strokes, and so much more. So even beverages, listen to this, even beverages marketed as healthy, and this again should be illegal, and I have very, very much faith and confidence. You guys know I'm doing some work with the Make America Healthy Again campaign and have been since 2020. This is one of the things that needs to be exposed for what it really is. Look, even beverages marked as healthy alternatives can be loaded with sugar. Look at this. Flavored water, right? Your flavored waters can contain up to 15 to 25 grams of sugar per bottle, despite the advertising that it's safe and it's a healthier option. Healthier than what? I guess healthier than an energy drink that has 50 grams of sugar. But folks, this is crazy. No wonder we have so much problems. By the way, the FTC should be going after people like this. They should be going after this for false advertising. This is not healthy. This is not a healthy alternative. This is lying to people through false advertising, convincing them that they should have a healthy juice, which is leading them down the road of sicknesses, symptoms, and disease, which ultimately the big food industry is in cahoots with the FDA, who's also in cahoots with Big Pharma, and they have this revolving wheel of the food makes you sick, the medicine supposedly makes you healthier, and then this big revolving door door of, well, extracting as much dollars out of the American economy as possible. Look at sports drinks. Sports drinks are marketed for hydration, but most of them contain 20 to 30 grams of sugar per bottle. So do very many of the protein shakes that are on the market to this day. We know that protein metabolism goes down drastically after the age of 30. So you should be supplementing and ingesting as much protein and clean protein as you possibly can. And we typically recommend whatever your healthy body weight for your size should be is how many grams of protein per day you should have. So if you should be around 160 pounds, 160 grams of clean protein is what you should have. The problem is most of the protein drinks that are on the market today have 10, 15, or 20 grams of sugar per serving. It completely negates the ability of the body to absorb that protein and causes more harm than good. But at least it doesn't taste bad, is what they're saying, which is absolutely despicable. Now, that also being said, I want you to understand that let me pull my notes up. The issues with the high fructose corn syrup, the proteins, and so much more, it's a serious issue. And if you look at this, let me pull my notes back up. If you look at this, let me give you an idea. I don't know if you know this, but the average American consumes 150 pounds of protein per year. Let me say that again. The average American consumes approximately 150 grams of sugar per year. And I want you to understand that one teaspoon of sugar can disrupt a healthy immune system for up to 3 days. That's what the data and research clearly shows. So if we're doing 100 pounds on average per person per year, no wonder we're susceptible to infections and epidemics and pandemics. And if we're trying to improve our overall health, but we're being lied to by the advertising, this is crazy. Look, the average American consumes 150 pounds of sugar per year. That's nearly 3 pounds of sugar per week. That's about 22 teaspoons of sugar per day. Much of this comes from beverages. Much of this sneaks in the diet without you even realizing it. Drinking one soda per day can add 35 pounds of sugar to your annual diet. A single daily fruit juice or energy drink can add 30 to 40 pounds of sugar per year to your diet. I mean, this leads to type 2 diabetes. This leads to heart disease. This leads to obesity, which, by the way, a recent Harvard study says that obesity is one of the highest contributing factors to mental illness, to neurodegenerative changes like Parkinson's, dementia, and Alzheimer's, to chronic inflammatory issues, to any type of chronic pain problem, and the list goes on and on and on. We also know that if you have genetic imbalances, which if you haven't done a genetic profile, and I want you to do a real genetic profile, what I use is the BioLimitless DNA Discovery Wellness Kit, and we measure over 800,000 SNPs, which are single nucleotide polymorphisms, to make sure the genes are firing like they're supposed to. And if you have any of these genes, you need to be aware that high fructose corn syrup and sugars are destroying your body. If you have the MTHFR gene, this is a very big issue. You need to avoid juices and sugars like it's kryptonite for you. Number two, if you have the FTO gene, this is the gene that predisposes you to obesity, primarily through overconsumption of sugars. If you have the ADRB2, that's ADRB2 gene, that can increase susceptibility for sugar-related inflammation and other metabolic disorders. If you reduce your sugar intake, use intermittent fasting, then you can reduce your risk for chronic illness. By the way, the central nervous system is destroyed. That's your brain and spinal cord through excess sugars and sugar spikes, causing neuroinflammation and cognitive disorders. You know, when people get neuropathy is a blood sugar issue causing demyelinization to the outside layers of the nerves in the body, causing the feet, the hands, and even issues with other appendages like the nose and even, the penis for men to not work proper if you're getting too much sugar in the system. Sugar destroys the autonomic nervous system, leading to dysfunction in heart rate and digestion. This can also cause autoimmune issues because of excess sugar in the system. Sugar destroys cellular health by destroying the outside layer of the cells, causing the cells to die prematurely, causing mitochondria and accelerated aging to the cells, leaving us to be, fatigued, leaving our energy to be completely gone. And mitochondrial dysfunction is one of the epidemics of the 21st century. That's why your get up and go has got up and went, and your diet and drinking these beverages could be playing a huge role in it. By the way, high fructose corn syrup, artificial sweeteners, and preservatives also kill off the good bacteria in your ears, eyes, nose, throat, mouth, and in your GI tract, leaving you susceptible to dysautonomia, leaky gut, leaky brain syndrome. And these sugar beverages cause chronic illness, insulin resistance, fatty liver disease, cardiovascular disease, neurological inflammation, now even contributing to type 3 diabetes. I mean, there are things you can do. Let me give you some biohacks to improve this. But number one, stop eating high fructose corn syrup. Anything that has high fructose corn syrup, stop it immediately. And look at your fast food, because a lot of your fast food has that in it. And look, when you're healthy, you can live by the 80-20 rule. 20% of the time you can have junk foods if 80% of the time you're good. But when you're not healthy, and most of us are not, and we have to regain our health, so we have to live by the 90-10 rule or the 100-0 rule, which means 90% of the time you're spot on, 10% of the time you can deviate, or we have to be really, really serious and solid. You know, you can't fix your diabetes if you're wanting to have your Diet Coke every day. It's not possible. So what can you do? Drink more water. 2 to 3 liters of water per day to help with hydration and cellular function. Choose herbal teas and green teas, okay? They're rich in antioxidants, they're good at hydration, and they reduce cellular inflammation. Limit sugary beverages as much as possible, so get juice out of your system. Look, even if you're making fresh juice, you're better off with fresh juice than juice that's in a concentrated can, but even still, that's going to spike sugars in most of you. So if you're going to have fruits, have the whole fruit, okay? If you're going to have vegetables, have the whole vegetable, all right? Support your microbiome. You know, incorporate gut-healthy, friendly foods, eating things that have bifidobacterium in it. That's one of the bacteria for the gut that helps with blood sugar issues. You got to restore the bacteria with probiotic-rich drinks like kefir and kombucha, and eating fermented foods. Very powerful. You won't crave sweets and sugars if you have enough good, healthy bacteria in your system. Balance your blood sugars naturally by doing intermittent fasting. And if you're going to have sugary foods, make sure that you pair it with protein and you pair it with fiber. Protein and fiber works as a solvent, if you will, and it helps absorb the glucose slower in the body. And then practice moderation, all things in moderation, even with caffeine, with coffees, with sugary beverages, etc., and get your body working out. Listen, a 10 to 15 minute walk after a meal can lower your blood sugars in some people up to 30 points. And going to the gym 3 to 4 days a week, pushing weights around, can ensure that your muscles, which is the largest organ in your body that pulls sugars out of the bloodstream using glycolysis, can use that to turn your sugars into energy. So folks, there's so many things that you can do, but you've got to do it. And do the genetic testing, get your microbiome checked out, get your lifestyle in order based off of your genetics and your own individual need. These are the things that you can do to help prevent symptoms, sicknesses, and disease. I know this is a lot of information. I want you to go back and re-listen to this. Share this with your friends and family. Share this with your children. Listen, it's so much easier to raise a healthy child than it is to fix a broken adult. And I'm telling you, we can do that. So here's what I want you to do. Go to our website. Go to peptalk.world. That's peptalk.world. Like, subscribe, share us on all the social media platforms and channels that are out there. And make sure that you guys are digging into this. We have over 100 now resources, maybe more by the time you watch this, on different topics of health that are there for you. I've written over 80 papers in addition to the podcasts that we've done that you have access to through peptalk.world. Go there, check that stuff out, share it with your friends and family, and know that you're in control. But you've got to gain knowledge. Knowledge is power, but wisdom is taking that knowledge and applying it to your life. So folks, until we meet again, I'm Dr. Eric Naputi. God bless you, God bless America, and God bless the world. Stay smart out there, and I'll see you next time. Be well.